Imagine you are hungry. Really hungry. You walk into a kitchen and there is food everywhere. Fresh vegetables. Raw meat. Whoa. Nuts. Eggs. Everything your body needs is sitting right in front of you. And you cannot eat almost any of it. Not safely. Not enough of it. Not in a way that would keep you alive for a year. So you do the thing every human has done for longer than we have been human. You turn on the heat. Now here's a question that sounds almost too simple. Why? Every other animal on Earth eats its food exactly as it finds it. The lion does not sear its meal. The chimpanzee does not roast anything. 10 million species. Not one of them cooks. And then there is you, standing at a stove, doing something no other living thing does. Most people assume cooking is a preference. Better. It is more pleasant. That is the surface. Underneath is something much stranger. Cooking is not a habit your species picked up. It is a biological requirement your species is built around. Your body has already given up the ability to live without it. Stay to the end because the last part is not about food at all. It is about the organ you are using to understand this sentence. Start with the simplest problem, calories. Raw food and cooked food are not the same food. Heat breaks down the structure of what you eat before it ever reaches your stomach. Starch gelatinizes. Protein unfolds. Cell walls rupture. The work your digestion would have to do gets done in advance, by fire. The result is that the same meal gives you more. Researchers in Richard Wrangham's lab at Harvard fed animals identical food, raw and cooked. The cooked group gained more weight from the same ingredients, same input, more energy out. Now scale that to a lifetime. A chimpanzee spends around 6 hours a day chewing. 6 hours. You spend maybe 1. Cooking did not just give your ancestors more calories. It handed them back most of their day. But energy is only the first layer, because there is something cooking removes, and that turns out to matter just as much. Raw food is contested territory. It carries bacteria, parasites, and in many cases, toxins the plant produced specifically so that you would not eat it. Kidney beans contain a compound that will make you violently ill raw. Cassava, a staple crop feeding hundreds of millions, contains cyanide precursors and has to be processed before it is safe to eat. These are not exotic edge cases. These are ordinary foods that are only ordinary because we learned to neutralize them. Heat does that. It kills the pathogens. It breaks down the toxins. It turns a landscape of marginal, risky, half-edible things into a reliable food supply. And the moment food becomes reliable, something in the body is free to change. Because there is an organ that had been waiting for exactly this. And it was very, very expensive. Your brain is roughly 2% of your body weight. It consumes about 20% of your energy at rest. Gram for gram, it is one of the most expensive tissues an animal can grow. In 1995, 2 researchers, Leslie Aiello and Peter Wheeler, noticed something strange about the human body. Compared to other primates our size, our brain is about 3 times too large. And our digestive tract is about 40% too small. That is not a coincidence. Side, an energy budget has limits. To grow an organ that expensive, you have to stop paying for something else. Your ancestors shrank the gut and spent the savings on brain. But you can only afford a small gut if your food arrives pre-processed. A small gut cannot handle a raw diet. It does not have the capacity. So the sequence runs in one direction only. Fire first, then the smaller gut, then the larger brain. The organ you are thinking with was paid for by the one you stopped needing. And you can see the rule in the exceptions. Yes, we eat sushi, steak tartare, ceviche, which is not really raw at all, since the acid unfolds the protein the same way heat does. But look at what those have in common. They are additions to a cooked diet, never replacements for one. In the entire ethnographic record, there is no human society anywhere that lives without cooking. Not one. We have even tested it. A German study followed people on long-term strict raw diets with modern blenders, year-round produce, no scarcity at all. Around half the women stopped menstruating. Their bodies were not taking in enough energy to run reproduction. With every advantage of the modern world, a raw diet could not fully fund a human being. So here is what that means for the plate in front of you. You are not an animal that cooks. You are an animal that must cook. Somewhere deep in your past, your ancestors moved a piece of their digestion outside of their bodies and into a fire. And then their bodies adapted to assume it would always be there. The teeth got smaller. The gut got shorter. The brain got bigger. None of it is reversible. Every other species carries its entire digestive system inside itself. You do not? Part of yours is a technology. It sits on your counter. The fire was not something humans invented. It is something that invented humans.